Hey guys, how are you doing? How everybody is doing around the world? This is Danish. I'm back with our another free community session, and today we have an incredible guest from Estonia, Tunis from 1Office, and I will give a more introduction, but quickly want to introduce some community resources for you guys so you can get benefit out of them. So I'm quickly gonna share my screen and show you, and also give a shout out to the supporter of our community webinars. So the number one supporter is Visadb. It's me. Yay! Woo. So it's actually it's a marketplace to hire global relocation, immigration, or company formation, or tax experts, including Tunis. So
Yes.
you can browse the services here. You can click on any service you want, and then you can click chat to start chatting with them. You can also find Tunis and other service providers. Plus, you can also browse the available visas. It's all free. Don't have to pay anything. Nada, no sign up walls, nothing. Just go ahead, check it out, and relocate, and never stop traveling. Second, a quick shout out to Safety Wing. They love our community, and they love to support our community webinars. And to check them out, they have an incredible insurance products. They are actually the cheapest insurance products they have. There are mixed reviews, but I'm using it. Most of the community are enjoying their products. Use them. Connect. Message me if you need more help or something. So that was community resources. Let me turn this off and get back to Tony. So Tony, I'm really grateful, and I want to show my gratitude on the behalf of 150,000 digital nomads. We're not here, but they all want to say thank you for coming up today.
Absolutely. It's insane what kind of audience have you gathered here, and just the fact that people are moving around, plus COVID, which helps actually promote e-residency in Estonia so much. So happy to go into the details. I already see some polls happening here, so glad to see the activity. Really fun to be here. So let's go into it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Tony. So let's dive straight in. So why Estonia? Because Estonia, whenever digital nomadism comes, remote worker comes, this term comes in, Estonia and e-residency comes along with that. Number one question, what is e-residency and why Estonia? What is Estonia?
Well, Estonia just has this well-developed digital environment where you have so many different services in the cloud, in the internet. And one of those services is a business registry, which means that locals here in Estonia can really easily access the business registry of Estonia just with their ID card. And then in 2014, the idea developed that why not give access to foreigners to this digital environment? Because they can just register their business, do their remote work, have clients in EU, in other countries around the world. They have this legal entity, this body that can invoice, hire, and so on and so on. So that was the idea, because from Estonian perspective, it's kind of easy money. The infrastructure is already there. So just get the businesses here to Estonia, let them do their business outside of Estonia. What we in Estonia collect, the government thinking behind it, is the dividend money. So if you pay out dividends, you pay a corporate tax in Estonia, and that's the income of Estonia in that sense. And I'll go into tax details more later, but yeah, that's the gist of it.
Wow. Okay. So I will also ask you at the end if we get some time left about the Estonian as a country as well, because I've been there. I love Estonia. An incredible country, small country, good food. So let me ask you. So e-residency. What is e-residency? If I ask you, is it a visa? Is it a nationality? What is it?
Yeah, it's a difficult concept, and it is like an abstract concept because there's nothing like this around the world. But what it essentially is a digital identity, which you are writing yourself into an Estonian environment. You have your name, and then we assign a digital code with your name. And with this name and the code, you can access Estonian services, digital services. So it's just a means to access Estonian systems. For example, you can also access libraries, population registry, and so on and so on. But the utility of this identity card that you receive is to actually register the business. So in that sense, it's a valid question that you are not getting any like a permanent residence here or any grant to actually stay here or a visa, because often we get those kind of questions that a foreigner, non-EU resident just applies for EU residency and thinks that maybe I can get into EU or into Estonia with this. It gives you nice grounds if you open a business and you have this e-residency card, but it's not just a travel document. You cannot get like a tax residency or just a residency in Estonia with the residency. It's a tool to access business registry and to manage your business in Estonia, which, by the way, can trade across the border outside of Estonia.
Sure. So what I understood, to summarize, is a digital identity. It's a tool to register a business in Europe, means in Estonia, without visiting. It's 100% remote. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah. When you have this identity card, basically it looks like this. Well, this is our national identity card. Don't look at the details, but it has this chip here. So if you apply for e-residency, you get a card reader, a little bit newer one, fancier one, and you get the card with the PIN codes. And then you insert everything into your PC and log in, register your company, register your company name, your business, you start invoicing, you just register your business. But first you actually need to get this identity card, which is actually kind of funny that everything in Estonia is really easy. Getting the card is the hardest part because you have to physically go and pick it up from the pickup location, because they will give you biometrics, your fingerprint, your name, your signature, everything is there. And that's actually a key point, because you want this system to be secure. If you establish a company in Estonia, and this is the way you identify that you are the owner of the company in Estonia, then Estonian government essentially gives a guarantee that this business that has been established by a foreigner in Estonia is valid, it's trustworthy, you can do business with this Estonian company. And this gives you this insurance, it's encrypted and so on.
Yeah. So I will dive into the process right now, how to apply for it. We will, guys, don't worry, we will ask more detailed question about taxes and all that, but we are just covering the basics. So it's a digital identity which allows anyone from anywhere in the world to open a company in Estonia and start issuing invoices to their clients, regardless of wherever they are from, doesn't matter. So that part is cleared. Now, to apply that, what is the eligibility or what are the requirements? I know you mentioned that there is a hard part of it, but if we just bullet point it, what are the requirements to get this e-residency?
Well, there is essentially only one requirement. You have to have your own, you have to have a valid passport, or if you're EU resident citizen, then you can also use like European identity card. Because when you apply for Estonian e-residency, again, you have to prove that you're the person who you are. So you need documents. Passport is a sure way to do that. But from the government side, at the moment, there is no restriction, with a small caveat, but not going into that. There are a few countries that are restricted at the moment of getting this e-residency card. These are Russia and Belarus. But all other countries are free, or if you're from another country, you are free to apply for the e-residency card. And usually they also approve the application. Well, they have one question in this application form. It's really easy form. You can ask service providers of help, 1Office for help if you need. But essentially, just be honest when you apply. But there is one question that they ask: why are you applying for e-residency card? And there are different people answering differently, but what you should answer is that I'm planning to establish a business in Estonia. So sometimes people are just fans of the system. That's also like a great thing. Why do apply for e-residency? But to be accepted for e-residency program, your end goal should be establishing a business in Estonia. With your audience, I think it's a given. So if you're listening in, you're probably thinking of establishing a business here. So you shouldn't have any problems with the application. There are some details like, again, where you're from and so on, but it's so generic and just plain KYC stuff that you see in all.
So to summarize again, so we just need a passport, which I'm sure most of us have, and that's actually we use. So passport, only having a passport is a great requirement. So next step would be having a passport, go on the Estonian government website, fill out a form, and then I have to go to a pickup location. Are those pickup locations everywhere, or how does the process work?
I'll send you also the link that refers to the pickup locations, but it's not in all places. By heart, I don't know where is your main of your audience, but in most big European cities, I mean capital cities, you have the pickup locations. So Berlin, Paris, Rome, etc., etc. When we're talking about like non-EU, then you have Washington, New York, San Francisco. Then in Sao Paulo in Brazil, then Johannesburg in South Africa, Australia. You have, I think it's Canberra, but maybe it's Sydney. I might be mistaken. But point being is that all the regions are covered, and it's a valid question again because the most difficult part is actually getting the card, the physical card. Because you might be from Sri Lanka and then you have to travel to New Delhi. Who knows what are the travel restrictions and so on. So yeah. I saw the poll you had here that people who are interested of starting their e-residency journey in the next 3 months or in the next 6 months. Well, I recommend starting it now because you apply for the card, it arrives in the pickup location, and then you have enough time to actually in 3 months or 6 months to pick it up, to make your travel plans and so on. Because otherwise you just might get it in the embassy and then it turns out that, whoa, I don't have any way to travel at the moment. It's going to be a problematic. Start the journey now.
Yeah, so guys, great advice from Tony. Start journey now. Contact Tony if you need help. So you apply this and then you go to pick up a location and you get this digital identity. You are now a e-resident, and now you can open a company in Estonia. How long does it take after getting e-residency to open a company in Estonia?
Really good, really good. I like to answer this question all the time. It's maximum 24 hours. So once you come through the difficult process of getting the identity card, getting your tool to access Estonian systems, after that, everything is so fast, including establishing the business. So that's why I recommend applying already now, because the e-residency card is it's valid for 5 years, and it doesn't have any costs of owning it. You just have it. And whenever you have the idea, okay, now is the correct time to issue an invoice. Well, you can go into 1Office webpage, open the business in 24 hours, and then tomorrow already issue your first invoice with an Estonian company. So in that sense, like it's really fast. And again, that's why you have service providers with e-residency program who actually guide you through the system. They put right details to right places, so the application would be approved in 24 hours. So you wouldn't have any hiccups that, I don't know, this name is already taken and you cannot, you have to choose another name and so on, or your, I don't know, some details were too generic, please specify. Well, we do all of that work for you. So you get the guarantee that in 24 hours, your business has been established in Estonia.
Wow. And then can I apply, let's say most of my people, they are entrepreneurs, online, digital, like running online businesses. So let me give you a use case scenario. So, someone from Toronto, that's where I'm from. So someone from Toronto, he wants to become a digital nomad. Now he has a business. He left Canada. He's roaming around. He cannot go back and forth to Canada. So he noticed e-residency is a good solution. He can manage a company remotely. He get the ID. He get this company. Now he has to register for the bank account. He has to travel to Estonia to open a bank account?
Legally, when we talk about actually legally what's with going on with the bank accounts, it's that an Estonian company there's no law that the Estonian company has to own a bank account, which in turn means that your business can be fully on cash, which is impossible. But it also means that the owner of the company is free to choose whatever banking solution they can get their hands to. So there are some widely known banking solutions you can apply for, including some in Estonia. But if you apply for a traditional bank account where you have like leases and I don't know, you get insurances, you have the availability for a loan and so on. Those are traditional banks, and they definitely need some kind of physical verification. So traveling to Estonia is needed. That's why we minimize them. Their fees are high. It's not maybe that modern anymore. And we always recommend online banks, fintech solutions like Wise, Payoneer, Paysera, N26, Revolut, whatever. You've heard all of them. So that's the solutions that actually residents use. And now you have real businesses where you maybe have actual physical assets. Well, if you have those physical assets in Estonia, then yes, you are also eligible for an Estonian bank account. And then you can maybe expand, get investments or loans from the bank and so on. But that's like a next step. We just recommend, if you're a freelancer, get an online fintech solution like Wise and use that because the fees are nice. You have so many currencies that are available. You don't have to worry about the currency fluctuation. Just keep the currency whatever you want. And it's also convenient for your customers because they can just pay in whatever currency they
want. I think Wise, I'm using Wise for my companies as well. So Wise is a go-to solutions for us digital nomads, less pain. So now we have a e-residency, which requires a passport, just a passport to apply, and it takes a few weeks, of course, to get it. Second, you open a company with your help within 24 hours. Bank account, we don't need to visit. It's also remote with Wise. So now we are set up. We can charge customers and we can make money. Now, my next question would be the taxes. So if I have Estonian business as a e-resident, do I have to pay taxes on any dollar I am making?
No, that's again an advantage that Estonia has is that your profits that you make are yours. So, or actually it's companies. So whatever profit your business is making, deducting the expenses and so on, if you keep it in the company's bank account, you accumulate the profit for years and years and years, or whatever is your idea. If you just keep it in the bank account or reinvest it, it's all under company name. It's basically company's assets. And it's tax-free, essentially, because Estonia has a law where you pay corporate tax or actually dividend tax only when you take out the profit. So let's say a usual life cycle of our clients is that they establish the business, let's say today, then within the first year, they maybe make some profit, but they decide to keep the company to just reinvest it or expand the business. And then at the end of the next year, then they take out the profits. And then they pay 20% income tax or dividend tax. And what it means is that each year you're not paying the corporate tax, this 20%. You get that to keep it, to expand your business, to invest into your business. And that's like if you know compound interest, then it really accumulates within a few years. You already are actually, compared to some other jurisdictions, it's like a really massive bonus. And for Estonians, the system has been in place for 20 years already, and nobody wants to change it because we all know how difficult it is to actually start up your business. And if every year somebody takes 20% of that profit, well, that's a shame. In Estonia, we only take your profit or the tax on that profit only if you decide to take it out for yourself as a company holder. So
or shareholders. This is actually pretty awesome because if I make $100,000 this year and keep it in the company, and next year I don't make any money, I can still pay the salaries, and it's all, I still pay the expenses from that money. So that really helps. And
one more thing that recently a lot of people do is, of course, investment has gone crazy. There's so much liquidity out there. So people or company owners in Estonia, especially residents, they invest into different vehicles. May they be like cryptocurrencies or just stocks, or maybe even other companies like via SPVs. Well, you can do all of that with your Estonian company, because there's another detail with Estonian jurisdiction is that your business, whenever you are registering it, you assign a main activity to the business, but you also are allowed to do other activities that are not connected with the main activity at all. So if you're like a freelancer marketing person, you can start doing real estate with the same business, which means that you can freely invest into real estate with your profits if you want to, or you can put your own owner's money into the business and invest into real estate, although your main activity is marketing, for example.
Wow, this
Yes.
is I didn't know that. This is brilliant.
And you know, it's so crazy. I try to work from time to time. If I'm not home, then you see these vans that have, we are doing bookkeeping, construction, I don't know, marketing, whatever. It's all in the same umbrella or under the same umbrella. So again, Estonian companies are really flexible. If they see a business opportunity, they jump on it. And you don't have to like notify the government saying that, hey, I changed my business activity. Just start doing it. And next year you report on that business that what you did with your business actually.
Wow, this is incredible. So I can register one business and I can do many activities or I can offer as a freelancer, software development, marketing, like any kind of service, no problem.
It's really insane that this works this way, because I know many jurisdictions where you have to put a tax registration basically on your business. And what's written in that tax registration is that you're a construction business, and now that's the only thing that you are allowed to do. It's not the way in Estonia.
Yeah, in Poland, I have a company, so I can understand what you're talking about. I have to put the code, activity code, everywhere. So that's good to hear. We have also questions from Kristen, which I will ask you in a second. Just one thing I want to ask you. So there is no taxes on anything I am making, but can I pay myself as an employee?
So to be super clear about the taxation is that this is what Estonia does. The dividend taxation, when you take out dividends, you pay 20% to Estonia. But what you have to consider is that if, it depends on your situation. If you're a digital nomad traveling all around the world and you don't have an effective tax residency, well, you are a lucky one. You don't basically pay any personal taxes anywhere. Even if you receive a salary from your Estonian company, well, you don't have a tax residency. So where are you reporting on that salary? Where are you paying your social security taxes? Basically not in no country. But if quite often we still have situations where it's a German guy living in Germany and they take out salaries every month from an Estonian company. Well, this German is using the social services of Germany in Germany. So those taxes should be paid also in Germany. So Estonia doesn't take that tax. But if you want to get like an official salary from an Estonian company living in Germany, then you should declare your salary taxes in Germany. How that works exactly is beyond me. But I know clients who actually employ themselves in another country under Estonian business. So it's really common that, I don't know, a Finnish guy having an Estonian company is an employee in his own company in Finland and pays Finland social security taxes.
So totally understand. So I think you have answered Christian's question. Let me emphasize more on it. So there are two types of taxes. One is a business tax, which is zero if you are a e-residency company, zero business tax. You're not paying any tax. Then you have a personal income tax. So Estonia have no business in your personal income tax if you are not Estonian, of course. You have to be a foreigner. So if you are Christian from the US or Canada or from any country except Estonia, then you are not paying any personal income taxes in Estonia because you are not a tax resident in Estonia, right? You just have to pay this taxes, personal taxes, to your national, like your citizenship, or where you are a resident. So that's where you have to pay the hack, which Stone is also mentioned, which I also fall into that category, that I'm just roaming around. So I'm not really a tax resident. So I'm a lucky one. So we don't have a personal income tax. And with business, there is no business tax as well. So Tonis, we are in heaven, I guess.
I mean, if you're in a situation where you don't have any tax residency, then really you are the luckiest one. Of course, then you have to have an insurance from like a private broker, because usually like governments cover your health insurance and stuff. That's why you pay those social security taxes. But if you're living in any country, just look into your own country's legislation and see how you can employ yourself for a foreign company. Because Estonian company can employ anyone around the world. You just have to do the local compliance and then pay those taxes accordingly to get the social security.
That's incredible. So I will ask Charlie's question. Is it more expensive to register a company in Estonia if I am not a resident?
Well, it's a bit more like complex or expensive, but it can be done because we were already in the business 12 years ago, and then there was no e-residency card. Then we opened businesses via power of attorney. So you just sign off on the papers that I can represent you here in Estonia to open a company. So that just costs extra, like 300 euros extra, but you can do it. So a really common situation, what we have is that a client wants a business like quite quickly. Then we do it via power of attorney, because getting the e-residency card might take a month. With power of attorney, we can do maybe in 2 weeks. And then when you finally get your e-residency card, it actually automatically links with the business already, because your name and your ID code, everything is in the system. And then you can manage your business with this ID card, e-residency card. And one more thing about it is that it's more expensive to open a company without e-residency card. But definitely in long term, apply for the e-residency card, because you want to maybe do some changes with the business, add investors, change the board, change the company name, submit your declarations, submit annual reports, whatever. It's all easier done with e-residency card.
Sure. Yeah, but that's the point. I think, Charlie, it will reduce complexity. I understand your point that it takes some long time at the start, but as Tonis mentioned, run the parallel, give a power of attorney to a company like my 1Office, and apply the ID as well. So in the long term, all our goal is to have more time at the beach and less time in government regulations. So Lucas asked, can an Estonian company invest in property in other places? What a very good question.
Yes, it can, absolutely, because Estonia is, first of all, it's part of EU and OECD, so it's all international organizations. So the documentation you get about your Estonian business is valid. You can also notary approve it and apostille it. So if you make an investment that involves a lot of money into some property and you want to get like proof that this business actually in Estonia exists, you can get really valid documentation. So that's one thing that 1Office and Estonia can cover for you. But yeah, it's allowed. So whatever is the compliance that you have to do when investing or putting your money into that property, that's again a local matter where you buy that property. Like, just tell us what information you need about your business. We get that information, official information, and you get the hard copies of those documents, and you can execute the paperwork in that country where you buy that property. But yeah, the experience rather shows that it's not the question about buying that thing. It's like where to get the money to buy. So if you have the money, then you're already golden. So good luck.
Wow, this is incredible. So we have very less time left on this. I know you committed with us half an hour. I will try to ask you. I wanted to understand. So guys, if I would encourage, there are few details which we don't know, or your specific situation may not fall into the standard process. So that's where 1Office can help you, right? You already know Tanis speaks amazing English, very friendly guy. So we can reach him out through visadb.io. It helps through visadb.io. You can chat, you can ask him. But I wanted to understand, Tonis, what kind of services do you offer? Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there are four main kinds of services. It's company formation, then local address, we call it virtual office, then it's accounting, and then it's legal services. And among those four things, you basically get everything. I mean, with company formation, you get the business in Estonia. With the address, you get the actual address. You get the post management. You get the free knowledge base, all that kind of thing that is revolved around the address. With accounting, of course, you get local compliance plus documentation that your business has paid taxes, for example, or whatever is the case, like everything to make your business trustworthy to your big partners or whoever. And then with legal services, you get contracts. That's the main thing that we are asked about. Trademark, again, changes with your business, whatever it might be. You want to change the articles of your business. You want to change the company name. You want to include more investors on board, some new people, board members. That's all with the legal services. So that's the four things: company, legal services, virtual office, and then accounting.
Sure. In short, I would say anything with Estonia. If you're not Estonian, 1Office is there to help you in terms of business, right? Anything and business service.
Absolutely. Our motto is making business simple. So we try to make it as least headachy as possible. And Estonia just helps us so much. So thank you,
Yes.
Estonia, definitely.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we will be organizing. So guys, we will be organizing another session for registering a company in the UK with Tonis in
yeah.
upcoming weeks. So that's where we can discuss and compare because one office is in multiple countries and we can talk about that. So two more questions I missed. Quickly, I will ask you. I'm sorry, Tonis. I know half an hour is over, but
No, no, no.
Robert asked.
I'm happy to be here. I'm glad
uh,
that you've been so prepared, and I like to answer. So go ahead, shoot.
So awesome. So Robert is asking, what are the types of company options to register as an e-resident? Thank you.
Can I see the question somewhere?
Yeah, it's in the chat. It's in the chat.
Okay.
If
And what
you,
was the
yeah,
question? Sorry.
yeah. What are the types of company like, sole
Yeah, yeah.
proprietor or
So there are different types, of course, but we mainly focus on limited liability companies. So just the regular ones, which has at minimum you have to have one shareholder, and the same shareholder can also be the director or a board member. So this is the main one we focus on, but you can also register joint stock. Well, it already gets really complicated, but it's possible with e-residency card. You can, and another really popular thing that you people want to do is non-profit. If like for example, there's so much going on in the world, a lot of people want to register non-profit. So that's also a possibility. And another thing this question usually leads to is that is it sole proprietorship? Like, is that possible? I want to do everything alone. Like this is what freelancers usually want, and that's where we say that actually limited liability company in Estonia is the equivalent basically for sole proprietorship in many other countries. Legally, it's different, but essentially in practice, it's the best form of business to do because the tax system is simple, the structure is simple, you can keep it really minimum. You don't have to pay anything out of the company. You can just accumulate for years and years and years. It's just the simplest structure in Estonia that you can imagine. So this is where we put our focus on. But others
That's
are
amazing. Yeah, and also there is no liability, I guess, right? If somebody.
Yeah, well, you have the option to pay it in 2,500 euros, but essentially it doesn't mean much because they're gonna change it anyway. They're gonna put it like €0 eventually.
Yeah.
But when you open a company, you don't have to pay in any liability or anything like that. Just market it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the follow-on question from Ingrid is like, what about professional indemnity insurance? Is that a possibility as an e-resident?
I don't know much about the insurance. I mean, you have this partner that you had. Can you mention him again? I've seen him before. The partner that you...
Sabi?
I mean, the insurance that you advertised in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, safety way.
Yeah. Safety way. Exactly.
I think what Ingrid is looking for, this insurance is bought on the company as an entity or as a person?
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, that if you're a business, you have a legal entity, then you can apply for insurance. And there are partners out there, even in Estonian marketplace, where you can get that. But it's not usually that seeked for. And I need to know more details about the person asking why it's needed. And only then I can maybe answer about that.
Okay, sounds good. I think Ingrid it's definitely you can get it. It's another product. So it's not related to e-residence. You can buy any product you want. It's not, you're free to buy it. So guys, I would like to conclude as we're over time. But Tonis, what a great session! What a great energy you have. I really want to say thank you again on the behalf of all the people. You answered, I think, many people, and everybody who's watching the replay. Please go to visadb.io, select experts, select Estonia, and you will see. Right now, the services are not there, but it will be published in a few minutes. And then you can, contact chat, and you can chat with Tonis. Hire them. They're professionals. They've been doing business not only in Estonia, but many in other countries. And with that note, I also want to mention that we will be inviting Tonis again for the UK market, how to register a company in the United Kingdom. What are the tax things and what are the consequences of everything? So
that's amazing.
Please,
that's amazing.
watch it. Yeah, Tonis, one last line. Let's say if you want to tell people why they should register business in Estonia or using 1Office or anything you want to.
Even if I do these kind of presentations, I'm all about simplicity. The message has to be simple. Of course, I'm being asked complicated questions. You want to be simplistic. You want to do your business in a straight way. And I think Estonia provides all the tools to do that. Of course, when we go on with each individual case, you can see some complexity within that as well. But the framework is straightforward. You want to open a business, we open the business, you start invoicing, you have a bank account and so on. And it's really easy to manage online. It's quite affordable and so on. So everything about Estonia is so simple that some people just cannot believe that I'm just speaking gibberish.
No,
it's not it's really that simple here.
Yeah, I think, so guys, please inquire more. Feel free. Estonia is marketing, they are marketing it for a reason to digital nomads. So check them out. And if you're still not sure if you want to study other options, US and UK come to second and third close, which we will invite Tonis to discuss in detail as well in coming weeks. So, but today I want to thank Tonis again, and I want to thank 1Office, of course, and also you, all of you who's watching and joining in today. So thank you very much. It's a new moon. Keep blessing everybody, and see you next week.
See ya.
Bye-bye.